What's up, you guys? Welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to be installing these Morimoto XB Evo hybrid headlights onto my Friends Tacoma. These ones are a little bit different than the ones that I installed on my Tacoma. These ones are going to be the little bit more budget friendly ones. And we're also going to be explaining some things as far as the wiring that you guys had questions on my previous video. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to stay tuned. And we're also going to give you guys a comparison from my headlights to these hybrid ones. So like I said, if you're interested, stay tuned. Let's get it. All right, you guys, so for the first step, you want to go ahead and get a 10mm socket and also a panel removal tool. You're also going to need some needle nose pliers if your Tacoma is a 2020 and up Tacoma, because it is going to have a front sensor here. So let's go ahead and just show you guys exactly what you're doing. All right, you guys, so grabbing that 10mm socket, you're going to have a screw that's right here, and then you're going to have one on this side. Go ahead and remove those two. Super simple. Just like that. Just like that. After that, you're going to notice there's going to be two push clips, which there's going to be one here, and then there's going to be one on the opposite side right here. So go ahead and get your panel removal tool. If you don't have that, you can get a flathead screwdriver and go ahead and pop that out. Let me show you. So you're going to notice on the clip, there's going to be a couple cutouts there. You're going to want to go ahead and get your tool in between that. Once it's up, you should be able to just pull it freely, and then that's it. Let's move on to the other side. So it should come out like this essentially. So when they're in your truck, they're going to be pushed down, and then you get the tool in between there, pull up, and then you can go ahead and take it out completely. That easy. So now if you guys do have a 2020 and up Tacoma, like I was saying, you guys are going to have a sensor. You're going to see this brown clip right here. Using some pliers, go ahead and push down on it by squeezing it, just like that. Once that's done, we should be able to now start removing this. You don't want to tug on it too hard. I'm going to explain why after. What you do here is you're going to go ahead and lift up, and then you push back, just like that. And like I said, you don't want to tug on it too hard. All right, you guys, so if you guys remember that brown clip you removed from the top here, after doing so, you could then put your fingers underneath, and there's going to be a clip at the bottom of it where you push down, and it should release this whole assembly. So the push clip is right here. You need to go ahead and push down, and then it'll release it. This part is really hard, I'm not going to lie to you guys. And then grabbing it from that bottom, you should be able to just release it just like that. As far as for us, we do have some lights on here, so I'm not going to remove it completely. But for you, you should be able to take the grill off all the way. So for this step, you're going to want to go ahead and get that panel removal tool one more time. There's going to be a couple clips you're going to need to remove. So there's going to be one right here, and then you're going to notice there's one here, one here, one right here, one here, and one right here on the opposite side as well. So we're going to go ahead and remove those real quick, and then we'll tell you guys the next step. To remove those, you're going to notice there's like some little tabs right here, right here, right there, there, here, and there. So with your pliers, you're going to want to go ahead and push those in. Just be really careful so you don't damage anything. But all you really do is just push in the tabs, and then you push in. All right, so on your Tacoma, you're actually going to have a wheel well right here, and there's like a plastic trim, which you're going to have to release. I've linked the video in the description box below where I've removed this in the past. So if you want to watch that video really quick on how to get to this next step where we're at now, you could do so. But we're going to go ahead and skip that, of course, since ours is gone. So the next step, you're going to want to go ahead and get your fingers and just literally pop this away. It's held in with some clips on the fender here. So once it's popped off, you should be able to go like this with the bumper. And you're going to want to do the same exact step that we just did to the opposite side. So let's show you guys the next step. All right, you guys, so now that you have the bumper in this spot, go ahead and grab your 10mm socket. Let's go ahead and remove the bolt that's right here up top. So once you've taken that off, you're going to come up top right here, and there's going to be two more. One right here, one right here. Let's do that now. Just like that. All right, we're also going to need to have to remove this. You're going to notice there's a little tab in there. Go ahead and take that out, and it should allow you to pull this thing out. This should be able to come out. Just pull back on it because it is held in with clips, just like that. But you guys, now that you removed all the bolts, up next you're going to need to release these tabs. So pull up on them just like that, and then it should release the headlight. You're going to want to go ahead and pull back, and then the trick to this, after you've released it somewhat, you're actually going to have to go inwards towards the truck. So slide it in, and as you can see, it comes right out just like that. So there's actually a tab here that's held in at the bottom. That's why you have to slide it this way. The way the mechanism is attached to it, it holds it in, so you can't just freely come forward. You have to go out and then inwards. So you're going to notice there's going to be a harness here. Keep in mind, the Tacoma that we do have here today, it does have the stock LED headlights. So it is all LED there and LED bulbs. So we are only going to have one harness. This is going to depend on what Tacoma you guys do have, so keep that in mind. So then you're going to notice on that harness, you want to go ahead and push down, and it should release it just like that. Now we've taken out the stock headlights. You're going to notice them right here. We're going to be transferring something that's on here onto these. So if you guys do want to watch my previous video that I installed them on my Tacoma, that's going to be also in the description box below, just to give you guys a heads up. But these ones, once again, are the hybrid versions. And I also want to go ahead and tell you guys one more time, at the end of the video, we'll go ahead and give you guys a comparison, hybrid versus the ones that I do have. So stay tuned for that. And we're also going to be explaining some parts on the wiring where I did get questions on my previous video. So stay tuned. But let's go ahead and continue. So looking at the stock ones here, you're going to notice there's a plastic trim right here. It's going to have a Phillips head screw there and a Phillips head screw right here. Go ahead and remove those now. So once you remove this plastic trim, go ahead and put it off to the side. One thing I did want to let you guys know is the screws that you just removed, you're not going to be using those again on the new headlights. So what I like to do is reinstall them in the same spot, just so you don't lose them in case for some reason you ever go ahead and reinstall these. You have all your needed hardware. Moving on to the new headlights, that trim that we just removed, we're going to be installing it right here, and it's going to have little nipples across the way where it inserts into. It's super simple. There's nothing hard about it. Now, as far as the screws there, because yes, you're going to still need some screws, inside the Morimoto bag where all the harnesses are, you're going to notice there's a bunch of screws in there. You're going to need to use those new hardware screws. So we have two here. We're going to go ahead and use them in the appropriate location to go ahead and mount that little bracket that's there. You're screwing it in, you're probably going to hear like plastic. That's just because you're adding new threads to it. So keep that in mind. And now that we got that assembled, we're going to now start working on the wiring. Let me explain that. So now if you guys did purchase the supercharged drivers, you can go ahead and install them now. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws. It's going to be a red one, so that way you'll know the difference. If the red one, it's going to be the supercharged. Black one, it's going to be the factory ones that these headlights come with. So keep that in mind just in case you want to do that. We don't have them for today, so we're going to leave it just like that. And then now let's go ahead and jump onto the wiring. I'm going to explain a couple things. So these are going to be your resistors. You're going to need to install them fairly easy, plug and play, nothing hard about it. And then noticing the wires here, you're going to have for 3 different Tacomas. And what I mean by that is if you do see the one that does have 5 plugs, so there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's going to be, so if your Tacoma does come with factory full halogen headlights, which I'll put a picture right here so you know what I'm talking about. These next harnesses here, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's going to be if your Tacoma came factory with halogen headlight with LED daytime running lights. So this one is the one that we used on my Tacoma since that's what it came with. And then the one right here, these are going to be, so if yours is a full LED factory headlight, for example, on the newer Tacomas, that's what they came with, which is what we have here, and on the TRD Pros. So keep that in mind. We're going to go ahead and be using these since that's what ours came with. So it's going to make it for a super simple install, nothing hard. And then inside the box, you're going to have these resistors. They're going to be easy to install. We'll show you guys where those go. And then you're also going to have an add a fuse wiring here, which you can do 2 things. You can either install it or not install it. It won't affect a thing. Harness here, we're going to go ahead and connect it onto the factory harness. And you want to make sure this also clicks. It only goes in one way, so you can't mess this up. Just like that, super simple. So now you should have the harness like this, and this one here left over, which we'll do these after. Let's go ahead and reinstall these headlights without ripping any wires. Okay. And this is always the fun part, aligning everything so you don't damage. And then just keep in mind, before you put it in all the way, if you come on this side, I'm going to show you guys what I was talking about earlier in the video. You're going to have like this clip right here, which the headlight actually has to slide into. So once it slides, then you're able to align it over here. Just like that. And then you push back. So these things click into place. So you're basically good there. You could go ahead and reinstall the 1, 2, and 3 bolts. And this headlight is done besides those 2 wiring plugs. Once again, on the plugs, it does depend on which Tacoma you guys do have. We do have the full LEDs. I keep saying that over and over because I know I'm going to get someone questioning me about that. So just letting you guys know. Now we're going to be installing the resistor. So let me show you guys where you're going to want to place this. Keep in mind, there is a really good magnet back here. The one on my Tacoma has not fell, so I'm not too worried. And you want to go ahead and make sure you clean off the surface here, and then you can go ahead and put the magnet. And then we'll go ahead and connect this harness that comes off that resistor to the yellow and black harness that comes off the headlight that I showed you guys previously. And then you just make sure it clicks in all the way, and it only goes in one way as well. Just like that, super simple, nothing hard about it. So we're going to do the same exact steps that we did on this side to the passenger side, and then we can move on to the add a fuse harness. Now that you have both headlights in, so like I said, same steps from here to that side. Go ahead and reinstall the 3 screws, one there, one on the side. Now that you did that, you can go ahead and put your air baffles back. Like I had said earlier, they are held in with clips. You're going to see here, here, and here. They're held into the body right there and right there. And then you're going to have that push clip that you had taken off on the side. So go ahead and reinstall those. I did want to let you guys know 2 things as far as this harness, the add a fuse harness. You can run it 2 ways. You can either run it through here through the front, zip tie it, or the way we're going to do it is we're going to do it the cleaner way, and we're going to put it through the back. So we'll show you guys in a bit. Just wanted to explain that. So I'm going to go ahead and reinstall ours. Now that you're in this step here, what you want to go ahead and do is go ahead and turn on your truck. Make sure everything turns on. If you see the headlights turn on, everything is good. You could go ahead and now reinstall everything. And then also, if you're not going to be installing that add a fuse, just don't worry about it and you're basically done. So I'm going to go ahead and put this all together really quick, and then we'll move on to that. Oh! Nice! Now that you can see everything's installed, we've turned them on, we know they work. If you're not going to be doing the add a fuse, you're basically done, and there you go. But like I said, make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video because we're going to give you guys a side-by-side comparison from the regular Evos versus the more budget-friendly Evo hybrids, which are these. So stay tuned for that if you're curious. But let's go ahead and really quick install that add a fuse. The next step is going to be getting the add a fuse that does come provided. I did want to let you guys know if you guys do have a 3rd gen Tacoma like me, and your add a fuse does come with a prong like this, it's not going to work. Reason why is our 3rd gen Tacomas do come with low profile fuses in the fuse box just like this. So if we put them side by side, you can see the differences. The one that the 3rd gen Tacomas come with is short like this. The one that came provided is a little too big. So what I'm going to have to do here real quick is I'm just going to chop this up. I'm going to slide it in, and then we got our brand new add a fuse, and we can keep going with this install. So that's what I'm going to do right now. After crimping it down, just make sure it's not going to fall off. If you applied heat shrink, I'd recommend putting it on. Close this up real quick. All right, and now we're good to go. So let's move back onto the truck and continue with our install. Next step, what Morimoto wants you to do is get a 7 and 32 drill bit just like this. And they basically want you to go ahead and drill out a hole right here in between this brown relay and this blue one. So that way the wire can fit right through there. So this add a fuse, we're actually going to run it over here. So you're going to notice I already uninstalled the fuse that was there. You're going to have a size 10 there, and then right here at the bottom as well. So I've pulled it off, and if you see here, at the bottom where the prongs are, we do have a size 10. Up here at the top, we do have a size 20. So that's where that's going to go connected, right here, in between this section here, as you guys can see, just to give you guys a better picture. Morimoto does want you to cut a small hole in the fuse box over here, and that's why they provide this little like rubber grommet So that way after you've cut it, you could then put the rubber grommet and it'll seal it nice and tight. As far as for us, we're not going to cut that today. We're going to leave it like that, and we're going to go ahead and put the box back on. We're just going to make sure it's nice and tight to where it won't get dust inside. But it's nice and tight. We've got the harness here. So we're going to go ahead and now focus on installing the main harness that's going to go to the headlights, then connect to this. Let's do that now. So to add in the add-a-fuse wire, we're going to need to remove this plastic here. You're going to notice there's a clip here, here, and on the inside there's a couple as well. Using your panel removal tool, you can go ahead and remove these. Unclipped, this whole thing should come off. This is where we're going to run our wire and zip tie it to. So on the add-a-fuse wire, you're going to have one line that's really long and then one that's short. Okay, so the really short one is going to go to the headlight assembly. The longer one is going to go to the passenger side headlight, and the medium one is going to go to the fuse box. So grabbing the one that's going to go for the driver's side, which is the shorter one, we're going to be connecting it to, if you remember on the headlights, you had a blue wire that was coming out. You're going to want to connect those two. It's going to be a little bit hard to see it on camera. There it is. So now that that's installed, we're going to go ahead and route this over here to the fuse box, and this will go connected to the one we just installed inside the fuse box. Clips in just like that, only goes in one way. Make sure you route it to a point where it's not going to get messed up or get caught on anything, I should say. So let me put this under here. And then yes, you do want to zip tie all this stuff just so you don't have dangling wires. And now the longer wire is going to go this way towards the passenger headlight. Same thing, you want to look for that blue wire, which is this one here, that's coming out of the headlights you just installed, and go ahead and plug that in. All this wire here, we'll now route it underneath and zip tie, and then we could install that shroud one more time, and then we could go ahead and turn these on, and then we can go ahead and go to the comparison part and explain a little bit more things on that. All right, you guys, so now that we finished up with the installation, as you guys can see, the ones on my side over here on my Tacoma, those are going to be the regular Evos, the little bit more expensive ones. The ones on this side are going to be the Evo hybrids, which is a little bit more of a budget friendly. So either one is a good choice. If you do want to go ahead and purchase either one, make sure to check out the description box below. I've linked them there. On the more budget friendly ones, I did want to let you guys know the DRL is going to be white. Now, if you guys do get the ones that are a little bit more expensive, these ones you do have the choice of changing the DRL color, which is amber like that, or you can make it do different features because you are going to get some selector keys, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the description box below. I'll link a video when we did my installation. I went crazy in depth in that video, so if you want to see a little bit more, check that one out, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. You're also going to get a little bit more features on this one. On startup, you're going to get a cool little ambient feature, where this one, it doesn't look like it has it. But installation, as far as just in case you guys are curious, it's actually very, very similar. Only difference is on the more expensive version, you're going to have a couple more plugs that you have to plug in, of course, since you do get those little selectors. So either one, though, is a good choice. No matter what you go with, they're both pretty bright, especially if you do add in that add-a-fuse. It does actually create 30% more on the DRL as far as brightness. I did also want to mention one more thing on that is, even though you have your headlights off, truck is running, your DRLs will stay on with that add-a-fuse. Now, if you disconnect it, you can make it function like normal, but you do lose some extra features, which, like I said, check out the video on mine because I did go a lot more in depth on that, explaining a little bit. So if you guys do want to check that out, check out the description box below. If you guys do have any more questions or anything like that, make sure to go ahead and hit me up on Instagram. That's where I can reply really quick, or go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. One thing we also noticed as far as on the aesthetics, on the actual hybrid ones, the interior is actually all blacked out. So if you guys do like that blacked out look, I believe this is how they come. Keep in mind, me and my friend do have the prototypes, so yours might be slightly different, but if you can see, it's all blacked out. Now, if you look at the ones on my truck, which is the ones that are a little bit more expensive, you're gonna notice it is still like on the black color, but it does have some silver haze in it. So it's more like a chrome type blacked out color. So just wanted to show you guys that. Like I said, the ones you guys receive might be slightly different, but that's just something that we noticed from the hybrids versus the regular ones. So check them out. Go ahead and purchase them. If you have questions, let me know. The ones on my trick, which is the one right here on the left side, those are the ones that are the Evos that do have the different keys. So they're a little bit more expensive, but what those keys do is actually allow you to change out the DRL from white to amber. And then it also allows you to give you different features. So if you guys didn't watch that video, make sure to check it out. It's in the description box below. All right, you guys, so as you can see, the added fuse is connected to the fuse box right now, allowing it to give out 30% more power on the DRLs. And I do have it also connected on mine. But right now we did want to show you guys on the hybrid versions, which are the ones that we installed today. They still look aesthetically pleasing. You'll still get the topography on the side of the headlight. You still get the same exact design. You still get that good quality and brightness. So now to show you guys, these are both turned on just by a side-by-side comparison. And right now we are going to unplug that added fuse on both of them, just so you guys can see that 30% intensity does actually help out. Keep in mind from what I explained earlier though, about the lights maybe possibly turning on randomly. It's nothing to be concerned about, but I did want to let you guys know so you guys don't freak out if it happens to you. Now that we disconnected the added fuse, you guys can tell the intensity is a lot lower. One thing we also noticed and wanted to let you guys know is now the little startup feature that starts up, of course, when you turn on the truck or just turn on your headlights overall, that little dancing feature is now gone. So that's the cool thing. If you do add the added fuse, you'll have that feature. Without it, you won't. Keep that in mind. Side by side, not that bright anymore, but hey, it still looks good overall, just in case you did not want to connect that. And I keep saying that over and over and over throughout this whole video because of all the questions and comments that I did get about that. So might as well just go ahead and answer that here. That's why I keep telling you guys over and over. I also wanted to let you guys know on the XB Evos, like the ones that I got specifically, these ones have the heating element. So those will engage if the temperature on the outside is 41 degrees and below. I'm going to go ahead and list a picture right here so you guys can read through it. It's going to show you guys how to enable that feature only if you get these headlights. If you guys do get their other versions, it won't have that. So please keep that in mind. I did also want to let you guys know, don't forget at nighttime, make sure to adjust these headlights. These are actually meant for like a stock lift. So if you guys are lifted like mine, you guys are going to need to adjust them a little bit. And I also want to let you guys know, if you do want to purchase them, don't forget it's going to be in the description box below. Now, if you guys still have questions on anything, whether it's the install or any of the features, or if you guys want some more pictures or something in depth, make sure to hit me up on Instagram. It'll be right here and also in the description box below. So go check that out. Check out Morimoto. They do have a bunch of different products. They don't only have these headlights, and they also make it for many other vehicles. So if you don't have a Tacoma, you can still check them out. Chances are they make something for you. Once again, go ahead and purchase them. Description box below. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace. What does it do for the DRLs?
JesseRizo is here for you. It's here for you, Like I said, it's super simple. Please feel free to subscribe.